everybody, and welcome to Geeks and Drinks. I'm Jason.
Jordan.
And for those of you who are actually watching this on YouTube, I have a bit of a crazy fro thing going on right now, just because.
It's poof, not a fro.
Poof? We're just going to go with the le poof?
Le poof.
Le poof? Alright. Oh, so much stuff to talk about. As usual, because I sometimes forget, drinks we're having. Usual, we love our Redbreast. For beers, we have from Colorado Brewing Company, Mermaid's Red. It's a nice amber ale we've had before. Mainly, it's still in the fridge. So
It's a very red theme we've got going on.
I fail to see a problem with this.
I don't either. I'm just something I'm just now catching on to, and I'm okay with.
Let's just jump into it because there's a lot to go through.
We've been gone for like 2 weeks.
We had the episode last week of you playing Jiggle Physics 3, as you like to call it.
That's what it was. I wouldn't even call it a game. You saw me. I blatantly beat one of them just by moving my one hand.
Yeah? It is a game.
Because they want to make sure the other hand is free.
I was going to say, then I showed you the relaxing section, and then you were just like, wait, what?
Never again.
Just know, there's an entire industry of gravure. Both games and DVDs.
Sorry, what did you call it?
Gravure. There's actually a name for it. There's DVDs.
When you give it a name, it makes it real, Jason.
There are DVDs and Blu-rays you can buy of people just sitting there and the camera just pans over them like you were just doing in the game.
It's fucking terrifying.
It's Japan.
Yeah.
Previous
statement remains. God damn it, Japan.
There you go. Okay, you're good at this point.
But fucking hell.
Will I ever make you play that game again? No.
Liar.
Wow.
One of these days they'll be like, oh yeah, there's Jiggle Physics 4. The jiggling. It's like, oh, that's cool. That's what we're doing today.
Yeah, well, it's the thing. So, Let's get to the news. So, there's been a bunch of new information regarding Star Wars Rogue One that has been leaked. It has not been confirmed yet by Disney.
Leaked.
Yeah, leaked. When the official visual story guidebook in its entirety gets leaked, complete with flags in the corner of each page saying "not final," but let's face it, this pretty much is final. It gave a lot of information we already knew. Felicity Jones playing Jyn Erso. We actually had the actual spelling for her now, Jynerso. Donnie Yen, his character is Chirrut or Chirrut. How would you say that?
Which one is it?
Chirrut. I don't know. He's a spiritual warrior. There's a couple new CG characters that were revealed in this leak that have yet to be announced. We already knew that Alan Tudyk was going to be in Rogue One. We didn't know in what form, though, whether it be actual human in person or it would be another voice acting gig for some CG character. Turns out it's going to be the latter this time again, playing a hulking...
Well, it's not the first time he's played a voice actor in a Disney movie.
This is very true. He's starting to make a career just out of that alone. But he's
the John Ratzenberger of the random.
Yes.
Who is he? I don't know. He was in there, though.
His character's name is K250, and it is a... Oh, if I can zoom in real quick because I can actually read this bloody thing. There we go. An enforcer droid, along with cohorts of the rogue band of resistance fighters, is prepared to steal the Death Star plans and bring new hope to the galaxy. So how did this enforcer droid get to the Rebel Alliance side? Have no idea with that. So
Enforcer droid.
Yeah, that's the question. Like, okay, how is that going to be tying into all of this? How does that actually work?
Maybe he's like a bouncer or something.
Did the Empire
for
need
space cantinas?
I was gonna say, does the Empire need bouncers like on its payroll to the point where they need to make droids for it? Oh well. They showcase a lot of new Galactic Empire villains. We've already known they were gonna have that special elite group of stormtroopers that were all in black. A lot of people were calling them Death Troopers, and according to this reveal, that's their actual name. So we'll see how that Death Squad actually turns out. There's a new TIE Striker in there, a new version of the Rebel Starfighter in there, and also a giant center image of Darth Vader. So without a doubt, he's going to have some sort of role in here. Other reports have stated that James Earl Jones has already been contracted to come in and reprise his voice role as Darth Vader for this. So,
Darth Vader.
Which is not surprising at all because, let's face it, Disney has all the money in the world at this point.
He's Darth Vader. He's the one who's allowed to be Darth Vader. You know what happened to the guy who actually played Darth Vader?
He hasn't really done anything, has he?
He's banned from being at official Star Wars conventions.
Because he complained too much?
No, I didn't read. George Lucas is like, no, you can't go to him anymore.
Wow. Maybe he just bitched too much about it.
I don't know.
No one cares about me anymore.
Yeah, maybe he just got super hammered. I don't know the full story. I don't think they ever released why.
Mm-hmm.
But they were just like, yeah, you can't come to these anymore.
I do have to ask, though, because it doesn't really affect me one way or another. All this extra information, also information regarding new ships and new characters, does it give you any more hype for this film? No, it doesn't really.
I don't have much in the first place, though.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's more or less I've developed a really weird trait lately where I don't like watching trailers and looking all the behind-the-scenes shit about movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes away from when I finally see it in theaters. Like, there's no surprise to it anymore.
No, I get that. No, I totally get that. The thing for me is, especially with something like I'm so attached to Star Wars in particular, you start grabbing all these little bits and morsels of information. For me, it's fleshing out the backstory of the what I'm going to watch in the movie itself.
It's even that. I'd rather do it after I've seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then just going to see the movie again. Because chances are I probably will.
No, exactly. And that doesn't... There are people who try to avoid all spoilers as much as possible because they believe it actually will ruin the experience. I remember when Force Awakens came out. Jess and I were just hanging out here getting ready to go. And she happened to pull it up on pull up the spoiler of what happens in that movie on her phone. She's like, huh, that makes sense. She hands it to me. I read it. I'm like, yeah, I kind of saw that one coming. Did it just deter from the experience at all? Not in the least for me. I'm fine.
Talking about Han Solo, right?
Yes.
I called that one.
You did call that
was
one.
Awesome.
But
people at work.
It's spoilers that never really bothered me at that point. Because if you tell me, like, exactly in that situation that Han Solo dies, I'd be like, really? I actually want to see that. I want to see how that's going to be taking place. Just because I know what's going to happen does not deter from my appreciation or the enjoyment of the scene or the content itself.
I fear that we're like one step away from that, though.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, with Star Wars, it's one of those that people have such a ravenous...
insatiable appetite for information.
For this thing. Yeah. There's no way to give enough information. If people could... If there was... Here's an idea for you for Star Wars. Come on, Disney, you gotta listen to this. You already started your latest version of the official Star Wars podcast, netcast, whatever you want to call it. If you turned something into like a daily update, about little bits and pieces here and there, kind of like, you used to have like these little calendar notes that would give you like, on this day, this happened. If you just got every day gave like a little bit more information on there and charge like $20 for it, you'd make a crap ton of money because there'd be a lot of people out there who will buy it and flip through it all at once to try to get all the information as much as possible.
Depressing to think about, but yeah.
There are a lot of people out there who will do something like that. So, but anyways, more information about Star Wars out there. Take it as you will. As for Spider-Man Homecoming, we've had some, announcements. We've already know that Robert Downey Jr. is reprising his role as Tony Stark in this movie. It was kind of blatantly obvious that was going to happen if you ever saw Civil War.
I wouldn't say blatant. I mean, it would make sense when he's like, all right, stay down, kid. Like, he's like, I'm done with you.
Yeah. And it's been all but confirmed that Michael Keaton will play the villain in Spider-Man Homecoming. For a while, he gave up on the talks, and then he came back in the last hour, the 11th hour, and started like, resuming talks and negotiations probably for price and all that stuff. But yeah, it's all but confirmed Michael Keaton will be the villain.
We're going to see Birdman play Birdman.
We're going to see Birdman play Birdman. That is going to be amazing. There is going to possibly be a secondary villain called the Tinkerer, who will help the Vulture create his suit with recovered Chitauri tech from the first Avengers movie. Nice tie-in to how to make that work. So... See,
I wouldn't consider that a second villain, though.
As a sidekick, you would think, maybe?
I wouldn't even say that. Just cameo at best.
Cameo?
Remember when Amazing Spider-Man 2, you had B.J. Novak. They're like, oh yeah, he's Alistair Smythe. Oh, word? Alistair Smythe is in the movie. Because you said his name fucking once, and that was it.
Right. And for
not
uber
even
nerds, we were like, oh, okay, cool, he was actually in the movie for half a second.
And not even that, you just called him Smythe.
Right.
The one bit of news I'm excited, or rumored news that's coming from the new Spider-Man movie, is Vincent D'Onofrio possibly showing up as Wilson Fisk.
Kingpin in this movie would actually be very cool. And it would make perfect sense.
That's the only thing I'm like, oh, neat.
Because at that point, you bring in Fisk. That means you can also tie in Punisher, Daredevil, and you start getting a more fully involved interaction between the Netflix Marvel series and the MCU. Yes, everything is, what they had for a while, the hashtag, it's all connected.
Would you say it's connected like it's in some kind of web?
Oh, jeez.
Boom, you set yourself up for that one.
Are we getting to, like, the Spider-Verse now?
No.
Okay.
No, not that bad. But,
no,
that news is the one I'm most excited for, just because I feel like it would be that one tiny, insignificant puzzle piece that kind of does more than you would think.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's always funny that you read all this news about Marvel and how well they're doing to connect everything together, whether it's the TV series, Netflix series, the movies, the comic, everything has a tie-in in there, and they're doing very well both, domestically and internationally. DC, on the other hand, not so much. Because Batman vs. Superman failed to live up to expectations, as we all called.
Because Zack Snyder can eat a fucking dick. Jesus Christ. Like, I don't know how many times, like, I've it's gotten to the point where some of my friends even tell me, Jordan, calm down. I'm like, no, I will not calm down. I will calm down when they stop letting Zack Snyder make shit movies. Someone needs to realize he's not good.
This is very true.
Name me, I usually have to go down, name me one good thing he's done. And then I end up having to tear apart fucking the movie 300. And before people go, well, I guess he's not very good. Yeah! The one movie you thought was so great and made you realize it was a piece of shit.
Zack Snyder is good at one thing and one thing only. Evoking full double-page comic book imagery on the big screen. He knows how to capture those single shots. And that's it.
No, he doesn't.
You don't think he does?
No. Man can't do shit.
You don't...
Put everything in useless fucking slow motion.
Okay, we can't get away from that. That's Zack Snyder 101.
It's what the man does. It's shit work.
Well, thankfully, with all this...
Sorry, back on target.
Yeah, all this bad news for Bats v Soups caused a massive shakeup over at Warner Brothers and DC Films. So, Zack Snyder's kind of been removed from almost everything, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, they've been slowly scrubbing him out. Like, ever since...
He still has executive producer credit on Suicide Squad, doesn't he?
I don't know. I think that basically it's one of those things they have to leave that at this point because he already did the work on it.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since after opening weekend of Batman vs Superman, they've been slowly trying to get rid of him.
Pulling him back.
Like, I immediately think of that Simpsons gif where you just see Homer Simpson just like backing into the shrub and disappear.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what they're doing with Zack Snyder. Because immediately right after Batman vs Superman, when they were betting all their fucking eggs, they let Zack Snyder talk. That opening weekend, Zack Snyder was the one who came out and tried to defend himself.
Oh, that's right.
Do you remember how often he had to defend himself? Oh, I didn't murder that many people in Batman or Superman. No, you kind of did. Oh, really? Well, in Star Wars they did this because the big bad guy blew up planets. You just had people randomly dying because they couldn't, keep it in their capes. And then he had to defend everything he did. And then when that movie turned out to be shit, what happened? They slowly started to pull back and immediately announced that Ben Affleck had written a Batman script.
Mm-hmm.
When that became even more exciting, we saw even less of Zack Snyder, and then they announced, guess what? Ben Affleck is making the Batman movie, and we've made him an executive producer for Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've removed Zack Snyder from Justice League. And I'll let you say this part. Oh, come on. You want to talk about everything they've done now.
So the higher-ups at Warner Brothers and DC Films have been given the boot. In exchange, the two new showrunners for all the DC films, I'm actually happy with these. Jeff Johns.
And Greg Berlanti.
Yes.
Greg Berlanti.
If you like anything comic book related on the CW, you have Greg to thank at this point. He's been involved with all these series, and Jeff Johns, to a lesser extent, has as well, but not as much as hands-on as Greg. But these two people are now in charge of everything. So
Good.
They've already turned around and said that what was it?
I hope they get rid of Creeps McGee and let Grant Gustin be the Flash now.
You think that'll actually happen?
Better. I told you the other day we were hanging out and it finally clicked in the back of my head where I had seen the guy who played the Flash before. He was that little twink in Trainwrecked.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like, really, you're gonna let that be the Flash?
Mm-hmm.
And even if you look at him, he doesn't look like Grant Gustin.
He really doesn't. Grant
Flash.
Gustin needs to be the Flash in both the TV series, which he's amazing at, and in the
even Tom Cavanaugh said it.
Yeah,
fucking Harrison Wells was like, make it happen.
So Jeff Johns and Greg Berlanti have already had their hands into everything. They've already both been announced as producers on Justice League. Jeff Johns has been brought in to smooth out the third act of Suicide Squad. They're in post-production. They're like, please fix this.
Again, he heavy-handed did stuff for Green Lantern, so you've hurt me before, Jeff Johns.
I know.
You've hurt me before.
But the fact that...
And you wrote one of the greatest Green Lantern stories ever, and you still contributed to that shit movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also have to look at, with Berlanti involved with the DC movies, they recently announced that they are developing a Booster Gold film that Berlanti actually said he wants to direct. I'm kind of fine with this.
I don't know why I just realized this. I wonder if part of the deal of getting him to step up and take over part of this, he's like, cool, I'm going to take all this money that you're throwing at me and bring Supergirl to the CW. Because Supergirl's one of his shows, too.
That's true. I wonder if that tied in with all of that. It's kind of moving forward in the notes. But one last thing real quick. No worries. WB also made the announcement that the director of the upcoming Flash movie has been let go. Because WB wanted a seasoned vet who can, quote-unquote, make their stamp on a movie with a $150 million budget. They don't want some newcomer on board at this point. So a big shakeup going on over WB and DC films, and honestly, I think it's for the best.
Shakeup? I wouldn't even call it a shakeup. A shakeup's like, okay, we're just going to redistribute people. You know, you didn't do good at this, we're going to move you over here. This was fucking clean house.
Yeah, okay, good point.
Like, I know a lot of the articles use shakeup, and you hear that enough times, it just kind of goes in your head.
Right.
But the more and more I read about this, the more and more I realized, no. Supermarket sweeps, they just ran through and just cleared shelves and said, get the fuck out.
So now we have Jeff Johns, Greg Berlanti, and Ben Affleck basically running the DCEU.
Look, man, Batfleck and Berlanti I'm on board for. The bees.
All I say is, this is the best chance DC has of making decent films now. I think it's their best chance. I could be proven wrong, and I've been proven wrong before in the past. But
and don't forget, it's been already announced the fact that they are going to make a standalone Harley Quinn film that is being produced by Harley Quinn herself.
That was an interesting announcement when they came down. I'm like, so they had this idea while they were filming it. This is just basically Margot Robbie going, I like this character. Let's do more.
I wouldn't say that. I would say it's probably let's test the waters. Let's be honest. Suicide Squad went into production around the same time as Deadpool. But Deadpool got fucking fast-tracked after footage was leaked. Yeah. So what ended up happening was they're like, okay, Warner Brothers probably thought they would tiptoe around it, wait to see if there's interest for Harley Quinn, especially as a standalone movie.
Right.
And then when they saw how good Deadpool did, especially considering it would probably be along those same lines, and they realized, oh, with Suicide Squad, no one gives a shit about Suicide Squad. The only people who are paying attention give a shit about Harley Quinn. I think that's why they're trying to do this, to add an extra little boost. Because technically, they don't have to actually start anything.
True.
Because the only thing they've done is like, we're doing it. She's on board. Yeah.
Time will tell. Keeping with DC for a moment, they finally got rid of their god-awful, like, peel-back cover logo
Which is
thing.
weird, because I finally started to get used to it and not hate it. And now they bring out the new one, which looks like a straight-up throwback to the 90s.
It really does.
Like the 90s and 80s, just blue letters.
Almost like that college font lettering with this. Yeah, it works well for what it is. They also tied in with this the announcement of DC Universe Rebirth, a special issue number 1 that will be written by Jeff Johns, your favorite person, which will also explain why they made such a massive, weird revelation. So there's all this crap going on throughout all the DC universe in terms of the comics, and it apparently doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So they made they revealed who is actually behind all of the chaos. Of all the people that could have possibly made this at the center of the universe, Dr. Manhattan was absolutely the last person on that list. I don't think he even was on that list.
Yeah. Alan Moore is, probably throwing a hissy fit.
Oh, I can only imagine, because he hated the fact that just the sole fact that you were stating that that Watchmen's even owned by anybody at that point.
It wasn't so much that he just didn't like the fact that it was being marketed the way that it was. Because Alan
all
Moore...
about giant blue penis.
Fuck you, Zack Snyder. You've done bad. You should fucking feel bad. I'm glad they took that movie away from you. Didn't deserve Justice League. But no, like it's Alan Moore. From what I understood, like I wouldn't say he's full of himself, because the man produces some heavy fucking work for comics.
He does, yes, but it's one of those that when you bring something like this out of the blue, and first off, this makes Watchmen canon in the DC universe.
Out of the blue. I see what you did.
Yeah, I know.
That was unintentional.
It was unintentional, but it worked well. But yeah, so now Watchmen is canon, and Dr. Manhattan is the sole source of all the chaos in the universe.
Oh, he's not the sole source of Smurfcock?
No.
Way too much alliteration there for a second.
Yeah.
But no, like it's turned out of left field that no one saw.
This is true.
Could they have done better? Probably. But
did Watchmen need to be canonized like this? Not really. Watchmen was fine as a standalone thing.
Which is what it was supposed to be.
Exactly.
But whatever.
So what? We're now gonna have Batman, tracking down Rorschach,
or them teaming up.
Batman and Rorschach teaming up.
I see Red Hood and Rorschach teaming up more than anything, but yeah.
Yeah, true. Oh, well, we'll see what happens with this. We'll read issue 1, or at least I'll read issue 1 when it comes out.
Yeah, he'll read it. I might, comic story in it.
Yeah, you'll just skim through it, if anything. So.
I have way too much to catch up on with comics.
You have way too much to catch up with just the TV shows.
No, I'm caught up with the TV shows.
Have you caught up on Supergirl?
No, because it's fucking Supergirl.
But now that it's coming to the CW... I don't
give a shit how attractive Melissa Benoist is. I don't fucking care.
Well, the question is, though, are you going to watch it now that it's coming to the CW?
Probably not.
Even though they had this massive, epic crossover announced. What was it? It's Flash, Arrow...
Do you want to guess how many episodes of Legends of Tomorrow I've watched?
1. 0.
I have not seen a fucking episode.
I've watched 3
guess
episodes.
Who's cool with it?
You. Alright. But now with this massive crossover being in the announcement, because they just literally announced maybe 12 hours before this announcement that Supergirl was getting a second season and it was getting moved over to the CW, which makes sense. I mean, it's not...
Bring back Constantine, you fucks.
Well, that's NBC, so...
You fucks. Just saying. Just because I know it wasn't
They brought him back for 1 episode of Arrow, and that was amazing.
Just because it wasn't the love child of Berlanti. Think about it. Give him to Berlanti. He fix it.
Oh, man.
It was already really good in the first place, but think about it. Much better it would be if he was helming.
Yeah.
Think about how spot on John Constantine was in that 1 episode of Arrow.
That 1 episode.
He was barely in. He wouldn't say barely, but he was not even the main focal point of that 1 episode he was in.
Yeah.
And he fucking stole the show.
Mm-hmm.
He was the best part of that entire episode.
Yep.
Bitches get stitches, Jeff Johns. Just saying. Make it happen. Yeah. That's how you're gonna redeem myself. That's how you're gonna redeem yourself for Green Lantern in my eyes. You bring back Constantine. You bring back Constantine, you will get a free pass in my eyes.
Okay, I know Green Lantern was bad, and it deserves all the horrible criticism it had. But honestly, How much does this guy have to do before you're like, yeah,
Bring
okay,
back Constantine.
Just that.
Yeah. If he does that, then yeah, he's on the right track. He can play. I'll just write it off as he was young. He didn't know any better. He needed the money.
Oh, well, I think he's fine in terms of money now, with everything going on.
Whatever.
Yeah. Let's move on to some other movie news real quick. Daniel Craig. Does not matter how much money you throw at this guy, it seems more and more likely that he's just done.
He fucking
with
hates
Bond.
it for some reason.
I don't know why. He said, he's been on record numerous times. He's just like, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to play the role anymore.
That's what I don't get. Like, it's... I remember reading somewhere it was like 99,000. I think you quoted it more at like 68 or 70 or something like that, which is more realistic, but still.
He turned down a £68 million deal for 2 more movies. I think that's been bumped up even higher.
But not even that, 68 million pounds.
Yeah.
How much is that American?
It's ridiculous amount.
But, dude, look at Sean Connery. One of the greatest Bond of all time. And even he was like, I don't fucking care.
True. So, well, let's play this role because everyone else is doing so. So, say Daniel Craig actually gets his way and he's no longer Bond.
Okay.
Who picks up the mantle? Because public odds right now favor Tom Hiddleston.
Okay. That's just a bunch of fangirls on Tumblr.
Yes. I mean, other people include Aidan Turner from The Hobbit, Tom Hardy.
I know Tom Hardy. I don't even know who the fuck Aidan Turner is.
I'm all fine for Idris Elba.
He's too street.
Too street. Now, does that...
And that's not a bad thing.
No,
that's just...
Let's explain that, because that's not saying because he's black he can't play it. No, he's... Every other character he's played has got to be remotely close to the James Bond type. He is there to essentially fuck you up.
Yeah.
He has no problem getting down and dirty in a fight. He has no problem, for lack of a better phrase, cold-cocking someone without, a hesitation at that point. Bond is a little more...
Colin Firth. Is Colin Firth too old?
Colin Firth is coming back for Kingsman 2.
I don't give a fuck. Colin Firth.
Colin Firth coming to play Bond?
I'd watch him as Bond.
Oh, that'd be like a mix of James Bond, like old school Sean Connery,
That's
James
why.
Bond.
Because I think he's old and smooth enough he could pull off like the Sean Connery, like...
And remember Britain's TV show The Avengers? Not the Marvel one, but yeah. Like that style.
Yeah. Just that I think he could pull off the perfect balance of new and old.
Yeah? And if he can we obviously can see him, he can pull off all the stunts that would be necessary for it. I mean, look what he did in Kingsman.
God, so excited.
And that was just him, prepping for 6 months. You give him an announcement and says you have a year and a half before the next Bond film. Get going. Oh, that'd be amazing.
I just came up with that one off the top of my head. Well done, Jordan.
Oh God, that'd be awesome. The thoughts are brewing. No more Tom Hiddleston. Please, no more Tom Hiddleston. Girls need to shut up about that.
The 21st century Roger Moore.
That's
a bit harsh.
Yeah.
But speaking of Idris Elba, because I was excited about this, because you keep forgetting about it for notes reasons. Mm-hmm. He'll be back for Thor 3.
Yes. Yeah, let's talk about that. There were some major announcements for the Thor 3 casting. So Idris Elba is coming back. But then we have some new people.
America's treasure, in case you didn't know it. Jeff Goldblum. A.K.A. Dr. Malcolm.
Jeff motherfucking Goldblum is going to be in Thor.
Yeah.
That's... Now, his character is the Grandmaster. He's basically a cosmic character. He's just basically using this massive, phenomenal cosmic powers to just dick around the universe at this point.
And you're telling me Jeff Goldblum wouldn't be that?
He would be amazing, and hopefully he is. So, it was just surprising. It's like, okay, this actor, this actress, okay, that's fine. Who else did they announce? Like, what, Cate Blanchett?
Cate Blanchett they announced.
She can play the villain, basically Asgardian's death god or something like that. But then all of a sudden, out of left field, Jeff Goldblum.
I think they announced someone else big, too.
I'm just waiting for him to go live.
Mark Ruffalo is the Hulk. They announced that.
Well,
officially.
They announced that for a while.
They've been toying with it. The best part is this is the first thing that ever came out and said, yeah, it's happening.
It's a cosmic buddy cop movie in space.
Yeah, like I remember it was toyed around with, but it was never actually officially announced.
Right.
So I think it was one of those things where when it was finally announced, like with this big like thing, they were kind of like, oh yeah, we already kind of knew that. Yeah, but it's official.
And we're like, What's his name? Scourge, a villainous Asgardian with an enchanted axe that was a longtime rival of Thor. Huh.
Yeah, dude, and the one thing that's cool, Scourge, if I'm not mistaken, in the comics, he was always teaming up with like Enchantress. Like I don't think she'll be in this.
No.
But to the best of my knowledge, it's always like Enchantress just kind of like fucking with Scourge and like, no, we're gonna do this.
Huh.
Because the whole point was like Scourge was like the dark version of Thor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Thor always had a hammer, this tool for building, creating. Right. Then you had Scourge, who carried an axe, a weapon for destruction and breaking things.
Which would be curious to see if they try to tie in anything regarding what's going on in the comics right now, how Thor has, become not worthy anymore and now holds a giant axe and goes by Odin's son.
Oh, because that's technically his name.
Right. But then, who plays female Thor and whatnot, and... all I'm saying is his girlfriend hasn't been in these movies in quite a while.
Natalie Portman?
Yeah. Playing Jane Austen.
Foster?
Jane Foster. Not Jane Austen. My God, I am all over the place today. Anyways.
Yeah, just today. Let's go with that. No, Jane Foster was in Thor 2. That's the last movie she was in.
Mm.
There was no real need to have her in Avengers 2, which was Thor's last appearance.
They had that little 30-second clip of, yeah, we just put her over there. She's nice and safe. Okay, that makes sense. That's all she needs. But anyways, we'll see how this all turns out. We have a bit of a wait ahead of us.
Probably great. I'm the only one that still believes in Thor.
We'll see what happens. Thor Ragnarok is not going to come out, or not slated to come out until late July 2017. So there's still plenty of time. We'll see what happens in this part.
I like that we make it so far away. A year.
It's so far away. All right, let's get to some video game news real quick. This we had to laugh about. So EA came out, and during their annual Investors Day, one of the executive vice presidents came out and stated that they chose to develop Star Wars Battlefront without a single-player campaign so they could, quote-unquote, release the game in time for The Force Awakens.
Boulder Dash. Because if I remember correctly, didn't they announce that they were already working on the game? Like, for a long time? They have been working on it, yeah. Like, it was, I don't even think it was EA, but someone was working on the game, and when they fucking got bought out, they basically took everything and decided to put EA polish on it.
Yeah, it was like, hey, all this previous content. Hey, DICE, you're not doing anything right now.
Fuck you, EA.
Yeah. Was it visually, amazing? At times.
Oh, I feel bad.
It took a fan to mod the graphics engine to look 1,000 times better.
The fact that a fan made your game look better. One fucking dude.
And still run at 60 FPS. That was just, wow, God, that was amazing.
You fucked me by not having a single-player campaign.
Now they come out and state that, yes, Star Wars Battlefront 2, wouldn't it be 4 at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're just rebooting it, so Star Wars Battlefront 2,
whatever,
the DICE ones, will actually have a single-player campaign.
I don't give a shit. I'm still not buying your game. I'll Redbox it, but that's not the extent of it.
You saved a bunch of people from actually buying this game. Because you actually went out there and bought it. You did due diligence and you bought the game.
No, I bought Battlefront 1. I stopped about 4 people from buying that game, to the best of my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know at least you and Dom.
Yep.
I think there's 2 other people like, oh, I was thinking about picking it up. And I think I turned around, it's like, do you want to just borrow my copy?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'll probably get my own. This way I can play it. I'm like, well, you can borrow mine. And then I don't give a shit to get it back.
For good reason. Because I popped that game in and was like, all right, well, there's no single player. Huh.
Like, I'm already out like the $60-$70 that I spent for that shit.
Right.
Like, if someone told me they wanted to buy that game on PS4, I would turn around, just give them my fucking copy.
And then...
Just to... Like, I'm already out the money, so I don't care. But it stops them from donating more money to this shit fest of a game.
Combine the fact that there was a massive Day 1 patch and Day 1 DLC as well. And they even released more DLC, and it's still shit.
Buy the special edition. Why? Because it comes with the DLC. Open it up. Here's the little card. Unlockable on this day. You just made me pay for DLC in advance. That's all you fucking did.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
I'm not even like that's why I bought the $70 one.
Because you wanted the DLC, yeah.
Because it's like, okay, this extra map, Battle of Jakku, cool. I'll play that with Dom because Dom and I were gonna fucking nerd out. I pop it in and I look at the piece of paper. It's like unlockable on this day. You made me spend an extra $10 for something I don't even get right away.
Yeah. Mind you, it almost seems like there's no such thing as a beta anymore. Open or otherwise. Because why have an open beta when you can charge people $60 to basically get into the beta, and then any changes at that point you can release as DLC and get even more money? $60 no longer buys you a game. I remember when the price went up to $50, people were furious. Why would I spend $50 on a video game? Now, to get the full experience of any video game, at least on a console, you're going to spend about $100. You buy the game,
okay,
you buy the DLC, you buy like a story pack. If they have a special accessory or an adapter for it, you're going to buy that too. At that point, some of these games you could easily spend like $100 to $150 on it.
Yeah, I was about to say, because the last 3 games I bought, Battlefront.
Yeah.
So you guess that's $10 right there. But after that, I was like, you can go fuck yourself.
Right.
Well, we're gonna announce new DLC characters and maps. Oh, I wonder what characters they're gonna add. Fucking me and Nub. You got goddamn me and Nub and Greedo. An entire universe worth of cool Jedi and characters, and you draw from the back end of the goddamn short bus. Fuck you, EA. Before that, it was Shadows of Mordor.
Yep.
Which I didn't buy anything extra for that. I played about 2 hours of it and said no. And then I bought Arkham.
Yeah.
And that was because $20 more got me the
Game of the Year.
No, it wasn't the Game of the Year, but it's their season pass.
Oh yes.
And the reason why I bought that was like, okay, cool, because they've already announced this is shit that's gonna come out down the road. So I already kind of knew what I was getting myself into.
Right.
And the best part is, had I not known about that, and knew what was announced at the end of that season pass, the Burton Batmobile Racing Challenge, done.
Yeah.
Which I still haven't played yet because you still have the game.
Yeah, it's right there. So
whatever. Think about it. Last game I actually bought though, Uncharted 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even justify spending $60.
No, you spent for 30
because the video game industry has fucked me so hard. I ended up buying it online from some like janky half.com person because it was $30.
Well, you got a good deal on it. That's all I got to say. I want to take over this one.
This I'm actually really excited for. They are announcing that they are releasing an HD remake of the Arkham games. And by the Arkham games, I mean the good Arkham games.
First 2. The third one does not count. Arkham's...
Origins.
I couldn't even finish it.
I would say it's not that hard to forget. It goes by basic video game timelines. Because 1, original. 2, sequel. 3, prequel. 4,
sequel to prequel.
Yeah. It's usually the sequel to the sequel. So it's usually like the end of the trilogy. Or in certain circumstances, the 4th one is usually a remake, which is why I find funny Uncharted 4 was 1, 2, and 3 just played again.
Right.
But the video game looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. Now, granted, yes, the first games did come out on the PS3 and Xbox 360, so they were in 1080p, so they were HD, but these are visually enhanced versions. So basically, you had last gen game, now with current gen hardware, give it the bump.
Like I said, don't get me wrong, they look gorgeous. I'm assuming they'll probably come with all the DLC.
Yep. As well, so it comes with upgraded models, environments, lighting, effects, and shaders, as well as all of the game's downloadable content.
I'm in.
So you get everything together in one disc for probably about $60. That I'll pay full price for.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Arkham City is one of the maybe a handful of games I've ever 100%ed. Because there's a lot of games it's like I lose interest and don't give a shit.
Of course.
Where Arkham City, like I was just compelled, like I have to do everything.
But there were so many aspects of that game that were so entertaining that made it worthwhile to go through and actually 100% that game.
You know what also helped? Arkham City had a DLC skin. That was Batman the Animated Series.
Ooh.
I mean, like the original one where you had like the yellow and black bat.
Mm-hmm.
Not
just
like
the glow, the white eyes.
The white glowy eyes. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Magical.
Yeah. So, the Return to Arkham compilation pack will be coming out on July 26th of this year for Xbox One and PS4. Unfortunately, there's no PC version, but that's perfectly fine though. Pick it up on PS4. Do yourself a favor when that comes out.
I know the second to next game I'm buying. You know I'm gonna end up picking up Uncharted 4.
Yes. Wrapping things up, E3 is coming up fairly soon, and we've always a lot of people, a lot of nerds out there have always stated that E3 is a very cool event that they can't get into. I've had the pleasure of getting into it more than a few times. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a surreal experience at times, but it was one of those that I was wanting to make sure that other people had options to go check this out. Has not been the case, especially recently, because of it's an industry-only event. Even though there's tons of press conferences about this, and there's tons of news reports. I mean, even local news will have some sort of bit about E3 in there when it comes around in June. But it's never open to the public. Until now, kind of.
I'm going to say asterisks?
Yeah. So E3 made the announcement that they are hosting the first ever public event called E3 Live for 2016. Be held the same time as E3, June 14th through 16th. It will be, instead of inside the LA Convention Center where all the industry people will still be at and all the cool stuff, well, some of the cool stuff will be at, they're actually taking over LA Live across the street, which includes like Microsoft Theater, the giant Microsoft Plaza, a few of the extra buildings in there. They'll probably have some sort of event in there. But this will be a open to the public. Well, you have to get a ticket, but there is a free ticket. But you can go check out all the latest games that they are showcasing at E3 at the same time. So rather than waiting for some journalist to give a quick 5-second review of something you've been looking forward to for a while since its initial announcement, you can actually go check it out. Now, like I said, registration is absolutely free. You do need a ticket to get in, and they are running it in 2 different shifts on all 3 days. There is a noon to 5 p.m. availability and a 5 to 10 p.m. availability for all 3 days. Now, all the evening shifts are availability for those 3 days well beyond sold out. That went very quickly. Last I checked earlier today, the earlier availability from like the noon to 5 p.m. is still available. Now, by the time you watch this video, maybe not as much. Just do a search online for E3 Live. You will find more information, find links to it, and you can go ahead and register for free. I think all it needs is like a name and an email address, because you need to print out a ticket in order to go there to it. This is a step in the right direction, I believe.
Like you pointed out to me, I thought they had actually switched it up and like it was open to the public.
No.
You're like, no, it's never been that way. I'm like, hey, just where they fixed that.
No.
Nope.
They've always been industry only, and the thing is, when I first started going to E3, they were very lax about what considered as industry. They include anybody who was working at a retail outlet that actually sold video games was part of the industry. So for the first 3 or 4 times that I went when I was working at GameStop,
you working at a GameStop.
I was working at GameStop, so they're like, "You have tickets to go to E3," and I was like, "Sweet." So we'll go, and we just had a blast. Later on, we worked for a couple conventions like Anime Expo, and because they're at the LA Convention Center and Anime Expo was at the Convention Center, they were like, "We'll give you free passes to go," and they were like, "Jason, do you want to go?" Yes. So we go check out E3. Again, every time I've gone, it's been an absolute blast. It's definitely an experience, and it's one of those I would love to get more people to go in there and check it out. This E3 Live thing is a step in the right direction, but it's definitely not that true experience. I was kind of hoping they would do something along the lines of like what Tokyo Game Show does, which is it's a 4-day event. The first 2 days are business only. The last 2 days are open to the public. It's the exact same show floor. So you actually get the actual E3 experience, not like a side...
you don't get show light.
Yeah, the show light, like you said. But it looks like it's not going to be the only person or only thing going on in LA Live. There's Club Nokia. which is not being part of E3 Live, but it's part of something with E3 anyways. Because EA has been they've made announcements left, right, and center that, are they going to be at E3 or are they not? Oh, we'll be there, but we won't have a booth. Yes, we'll have a booth there, but we won't do any meetings. They went back and forth about it. So now what they've officially announced is that they will still host business meetings in the upper conference rooms at E3. It's smart because all the industry there, it's where you want to make all your money. Get those deals going. But they've actually released their booth area for E3 in the LA Convention Center. They're actually not going to have a booth inside E3. Instead, they bought out Club Nokia, and they're actually going to bring their entire booth and all the games they were going to showcase there and let people play to Club Nokia, open for free. They're calling it EA Play. So you can actually go check this out along with E3 Live.
Is that like you play? Do you have to sit around for like an hour and a half before you can do anything?
Oh, Jesus.
You have to sit like an hour just waiting to see terms of service that you can say, no, I don't care.
And then it says you can't play the game.
You can't play the game unless you agree to our terms. All right, I agree. Can I play the game now? Do you want to log into your... No, I don't care about you play. They're just the security.
I give them props for this, because that's a great step in that right direction. Because if E3 is not going to open their doors to the public, full, open the doors and it's in the LA Convention Center, this is the great way to get to your.
See, I saw it as them being dicks, kind of like everyone has with like Comic-Con now. Where they're going, I don't want to share my toys with you. I only want to share toys with people who want my toys.
This also makes a very good business sense for the sole fact that you look what Disney does with D23. They pulled thing from Comic-Con because there you have to compete with other people. Why do that if you can control your own event where you control the message, the theming, the presentation, the news outlets, everything. You control the entire aspect if you have your own event.
Yeah.
EA doing EA Play like this, you're still technically part of E3.
But I have to wonder if they are really that big of their own hitter.
I really think they are.
I don't think they are, though.
Between EA Sports, which we're not fans of because we're not sports
EA
fans.
Sports.
But EA Sports is still out there.
You're wrong. It makes money, but EA Sports games, that's aren't people who go to these.
No, this is true, but there's always that fan base out there. There are people who go out there and line up to get, the latest version of Madden when it comes out the day of, like at midnight. We think that the people have issues, yes, but there's a whole crowd of people who think that's amazing. It's exactly what I want to do. And doing this not only in LA, they already made the announcement they're also doing a companion event on June 12th in London. So this is not going to be just one location.
I look forward to this being a one-time thing, and then next year you and I having a laugh about this.
Oh yeah,
because they're not Blizzard. Blizzard can pull shit like this off.
No, yeah. Activision Blizzard came out and says we're not going to be at E3. We don't need to. We have fucking BlizzCon. We have several million people playing our game religiously and paying us a crap ton of money. What do you got?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think EA wants to pretend it's putting on its big boy pants, and I think this is going to fail. I
look at it. I disagree. I think this will provide enough of a push. I'm hoping, I should say, that this will provide enough of a push that for E3 2017, they will embrace like the Tokyo Game Show, the TGS method of we just go 4 days. The first 2 days are business. The other 2 days are open to the public. Because even though it's free to for E3 Live, that's still a shitload of money going out the window because you have to rent the location. You got to make sure you have the deals with all the companies. You need to make sure you have staff. You make sure you have all the tech there. Make sure you have the permit. I mean, it's a lot of money to put on a free event.
Like I said, I think they're trying to make a statement and try to seem cool.
But E3 is always trying to find a way to appease their people. Remember, like a couple years ago, it was probably several years ago at this point, they actually went away from LA and went to like Santa Ana or something, or not Santa Ana, but like Microsoft ended up having their press conference in like some high school field.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, and they had it like instead of these giant booths at E3, each company only had like a small section that had like 4 monitors so they can put up their station there. So everyone had the same design, and the only promotion they could have is one sign above all those monitors.
Like I said,
I was like, that was the dumbest fucking thing you could ever do.
I think EA is throwing a tantrum.
Yeah, they always are.
I feel like they think they're doing something good, and I think that they might do some good with this by trying to go like you. I don't know enough of the background information. If say there was a conversation between E3 and EA, where EA is like, we should make this open to the public, like everyone should be able to play our games. Like that's kind of what we need.
Well, these are gamers. They're the people who are making sure you have a multi-billion-dollar industry.
If that's what EA's doing, like they're like, this is what we want, and then E3 said, no, that's not the way we do things, and they said, go fuck yourself. I don't need you. I'll start my own E3 with blackjack and hookers just across the street. Then yes, go EA. I think EA is just trying to throw a tantrum and try to be like the cool kid. Be like, oh, it's conformist, and just walk away.
And we'll see what happens.
But like I said, that's
June 12th is not that far away, so we will see what happens with E3 this year. I'm sure there'll be still tons of game announcements that'll be released during that time frame, all the press conferences and whatnot, so we shall see what happens with all of that.
I look forward to some news company like Polygon or Kotaku go, well, EA set a giant booth, and guess what? They announced Tiger Woods 2017. Sorry, 2K17.
2K17. Oh, all right. For the last thing for this episode, it's just a very cool thing. I mean,
mainly because last year we covered the fact that when the Tampa Bay Lightning and NHL, they had their giant display on their ice where they played an old school NES game. They've taken it one step further this year and are playing Mario Kart, or their own version of Mario Kart, rather.
It was amazing.
And I'm an LA Kings fan. My Kings are already gone. Go Kings go. Ducks can suck it. But I'm rooting for them now just because of this. Like, Tampa Bay has nerd street cred. It's like,
they do have nerd street cred for all the things. Okay, at least their AV team has nerd street cred. Because I'm sure, the players are all, back in the locker rooms and whatnot. They're like,
because it's not in Russian or French Canadian.
But from a fan perspective, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Keep doing more stuff like this. It'd be just continue.
You can get nerds to go to sporting events. Weird.
Yeah. Well, you don't get nerds to go to sporting events. E-sporting events. Come on. ESPN has a deal right now to stream. I think it's the League of Legends Championships for $500 million.
That's depressing.
And that is going to make boku bucks in terms of ad revenue, viewership ratings. I think.
I like the idea. I like the idea of having like this bit of nerd culture being brought into mainstream because it's cool. But for me, like when I worked at a Buffalo Wild Wings, and I had to sit through a group of nerds who were watching a League of Legends tournament, I fucking hated everybody.
So what you're saying is I shouldn't take you to the esports arena that's in downtown Santa Ana?
It's not profitable. Oh, I don't think no. For the average consumer, like when was the last time you heard someone say like, "Do the esports thing"?
Actually, just 2 weeks ago.
Why? Patrick doesn't count. He's not people.
He's still people.
Wait, was it actually Patrick?
No, it wasn't actually Patrick.
Okay. I said, Jesus Christ.
That topic's for a whole other episode. We can spend a whole bunch of time on that.
That is true.
So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. For Geeks and Drinks, I'm Jason.
Jordan.
Cheers, Internet.
Cheers.
Hold the door.